55 and over communities can be awesome because they offer like amazing amenities, activities, but sometimes things can go awry because of that little organization called the Homeowners Association or the HOA. I've been looking on the internet and I have been seeing all of these nightmare stories about HOAs in 55 and over communities and even in some non 55 and over communities. But some of these stories are pretty disturbing. So if you're thinking about moving to a 55 and over community, beware of the HOA. So I'm going to share with you some of these stories today. And man, some of these are doozies. And do me a favor, if you have an experience with a problem HOA and you have a story to share, just do me a favor, share it below. I want to hear about it. So as I said, I searched the internet. I was even all over TikTok because there's tons of stories out there on TikTok about these HOAs and these HOA Karens. These stories are just outrageous. So some of these I'm going to share with you. They are disturbing. They do go back a number of years. They're older stories, but I just thought it was important to bring these things up for you to be aware when you're going to be moving into a 55 and over community. I hope you don't experience any of the same nightmares that these people experience. So let's get into this right now. So the first story I have to share with you has to do with a community out in Arizona. Now, this goes back a number of years. This is where a couple in a 55 and over community had to take in their grandson, who was 15 years old at the time, because the grandson's parents both passed away within 2 weeks of each other. His mother died from an illness, and then 2 weeks later, his father committed suicide. Yeah. So this poor kid was an orphan. So he had no choice but to go and move in with his grandparents in Arizona. The laws in Arizona for age-restricted living is that you cannot have anyone under the age of 18 living in that community for more than a month. Okay, I understand that rule. I understand that law, but this kid's an orphan, and this HOA sought to evict this 15-year-old boy from their community. Yeah. This community was called the Gardens at Willow Creek, and that was in Prescott, Arizona. So the HOA actually sent a letter to the owners, the grandparents, saying that they had a deadline, that the 15-year-old boy had a deadline to move out and find a new home. Would you expect this kid to go out and live on his own and like pay his own rent at 15 years old after he just lost both of his parents? Come on. Jesus. Again, I know there were rules in place and they're not supposed to have children there under the age of 18. I totally understand that. But do you think you could make an exception just this one time? The kid's an orphan. What do you expect this kid to do? Unless the grandparents can just decide to up and move and sell the place. But why disrupt their lives to where they have to up and sell and move? And instead of just letting the boy stay there until he was 18, it was a few years. What is the big deal? Make an exception for him. But I don't know what happened with this. I tried to search for the results on this one. I don't know what ended up happening. I understand HOA, I understand your rules, but can we have a little compassion? Just saying.
Absolutely.
This next story has to do with a Vietnam veteran in Macedonia, Ohio. This goes back to 2011, and there was an issue with him flying the American flag. Fred Quigley had a battle with the HOA because he erected a 15-foot flagpole in his yard to fly his American flag. He was a proud American veteran, and he just wanted to fly that flag. Well, the HOA rules states that you must have your flag displayed on a stanchion attached to the house. Again, I understand the rules. I totally get it. And their whole thing is the homeowners association's stance on these things is, they make these rules to, make it better for the community and also a safety measure. So their concern was the poles in the front yard. It's going to be a problem for the landscapers. Blah, blah, blah. So this battle went on for a while, and they ended up backing off and let him keep that flagpole in the front of his house, which, you know what? Good on you. It's a flagpole. He's a proud veteran. Thankful that this man served our country. Let him be. Now, some of you may come at me and say, you know what? I'm in the wrong. They need to follow the rules. But I think that one was a little excessive. They should just let the guy be. Really?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
He's a veteran. He's proud of his flag, proud of his country. Let him be. The next story is a little more recent. This has to do with a community located in Ohio. It's a 55 and over community with manufactured homes. And what happened in this situation, this community was taken over by a new management company. And that new management company decided to double the lot fees for this manufactured home community. So just let me explain what a lot fee is. When you own a manufactured home or a mobile home, the lot that your home sits on, you have to pay a fee to the management company. It's like you're paying rent. You're renting that lot to keep your home there. This company took over and decided to double the lot fees. Now think about this. You have a bunch of retired people on a fixed income. You think they can afford that kind of an increase? No. So that story made the news. Like 200 neighbors went to voice their concerns to this company to say, this is outrageous. I mean, it's to the point where this one 88-year-old resident said they had to go and take on a job so they can pay for that fee. Like, who does? Oh my God, are you serious? Again, where's the compassion? If you want to increase the fees, that's fine, but do it in small increments. Why do you have to go in and double it? They're renting land. How does you justify that? I understand there's inflation going on, but they're renting the land from you. They're renting that lot. What's changed? What are they getting for that increase? Really, they're not getting anything. It's just the use of that lot. So again, how about a little compassion, people? All right. It's a 55 and over community. You have to double that amount.
Oh, come on!
Hopefully they'll get that company to bring those rates back to where they were, or, just give a slight increase. Just be realistic. Don't double it. So that story, that just had me all fired up, because you just don't do that, especially in this economy and people on a fixed income. Come on, do better. Hey, if you're really liking what you see right now, you know what to do. Hit the like and also subscribe. Thank you. If you're on TikTok, maybe you saw this story about this 88-year-old Karen from the HOA manhandling a young boy for riding his bike on the sidewalk.
A 12-year-old kid is happily riding his bike on the sidewalk when he's confronted by a neighbor.
Get the hell off the sidewalk now.
Excuse me.
Get off the sidewalk.
Please don't touch me. Why'd you just hit me?
Want me to hit you again?
So again, this made national news, this story. Like, why would you do that? In today's day and age, like what this kid just did, he's wearing a GoPro camera, filming everything. And now you look like the idiot. You look like the idiot. You look like the moron who's manhandling a young boy and screaming at him about riding his bike. You got to be kidding me. Again, these people who are served on these HOA associations feel like that they have the power, that they can do whatever they want, like manhandling a kid. You don't do that. You just don't do that. So how stupid are you? Like, really? Sorry, I said it. That's just dumb. And I think the result of this one, I think she might have gotten kicked off the HOA. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what happened with her. Either she stepped down, she was forced to step down, or they kicked her out or whatever, because she's giving that community a really bad name right now. So yeah, don't do that. Don't be a Karen like that. Don't be stupid. So another story related to a veteran has to do with an emotional support animal. Now, before I get into this, I know there's a lot of controversy about emotional support animals, because apparently you can get like a certificate online saying that your dog's an emotional support animal, or a cat or a snake, whatever you have. So there is a lot of controversy over that. But in this case, this veteran, this goes back several years ago, but this veteran, Robert Brady, who lived in the community in Florida, had an emotional support animal, a dog, and the HOA rules were that you cannot have a dog that weighs more than 35 pounds. Mr. Brady's dog weighed 40 pounds, 5 pounds heavier, 5 pounds over the limit. So I have a question. How did they find out that that dog weighed 40 pounds versus 35? Did they weigh it? Like, did they come in and weigh the dog to make sure? I hope the heck not. I hope they didn't do that. Because that's outrageous. That's like, you know what? Get a life. Get a life. So what ended up happening was Mr. Brady filed a complaint with the Department of Housing and Urban Development, saying that they're violating and discriminating against his rights to have this emotional support animal. Now, again, we go back to the HOAs have these rules in place for everybody's safety. Okay. So I understand they don't want to have larger dogs in the community. Understand that. But it's 5 pounds. It's 5 pounds. Again, how did they know? And why are you making a big deal? It's 5 pounds. What if the dog just needs to lose a little weight? Okay. So if the dog lost a little weight, then it's okay.
Oh, no. You're kidding me.
but you have to go and start this battle and challenge this man and challenge his animal. You know, he's a veteran. He needs that animal. He needs that dog. Again, we got to do better, guys. Pick our battles. Do better. You know, give the guy a chance. Let him, if the dog needs to lose a little weight, lose a little weight. But are you really going to make a big deal over 5 pounds? And are you weighing that dog? That I can't get past. How did they know that dog was 5 pounds overweight? Did Mr. Brady tell them that? I don't know. I hope not.
Picture yourself in the boat.
Anyway, I digress. This one had my blood boiling. I'm not going to lie. It really bothered me. So this story comes out of Fairfax, Virginia. And I don't know if this is specifically 55 and over community, but I had to share this because, you know, the HOAs, you got to pick your battles and be careful what you wish for. Because in this case, what happened was the HOA went after this one homeowner who, you ready for this? They were in violation of their political sign that they had in their yard because the political sign was 4 inches too wide per the community guidelines. It was 4 inches too wide. So then what happened? So then the HOA decided to just keep going after this homeowner and made complaints about their deck and about their roof. Well, that battle then continued, and then the homeowner decided to sue the HOA, and guess what? The HOA drained their coffers of $400,000 to pay for the legal fees to battle this homeowner. How dumb are they?
Are you, like, serious?
So the HOA had to sell a parcel of land within that community in order to generate some money to rebuild the coffers because they ran out, because they felt it, you know, they're going to spend all that money in legal fees to fight this one homeowner. And it all started with a sign that was 4 inches too wide. Get a life. Like, seriously, you know, be careful of who you're choosing to serve on these HOA boards. You know, you have elections. So make sure you really do your research and find out what these people are all about and make sure they're going to be doing right. They're going to be working really on behalf of the community and not be on this big power trip and power hungry and just take this to the nth degree and cause all sorts of problems, because this is what happens. You can bankrupt an HOA because you just have to continue fighting and get your point across that you're right and the homeowner's wrong. Bad idea. Again, if you have any stories you want to share with me, comment below. I'd love to hear about it. I hope you take these into consideration when you're choosing moving to a 55 and over community. Take a hard look at those HOAs and see what the situations are, because man, it could get pretty ugly. Hey, if you really liked what you watched here today, I highly recommend you go watch this video over here. You're really going to like that. You're going to learn a lot. Trust me. Thank you so much for watching me today. My name is Jackie Baker, and I will see you next time.